This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. I am here in the vineyards of Adamo Estate Winery with none other than Shauna White. How are you today, Shauna?
I am awesome. Thanks, Jamie.
Now, we are here to speak about these blankets. Now, we did speak about them briefly when we did an interview with you last year, but we're really going to dive deep here and get a few more details about when you started using these, their purpose, and how you find their performance.
So these geothermal blankets, we started in 2015, and we did a study along with Brock University, and we were measuring the difference of the ambient temperature outside the blankets to the temperature inside the blankets. And overall, the average is about 5 degrees warmer underneath the blankets than it is outside. That can vary though. It can go up to 8 or 10 degrees warmer depending on conditions. But what we wanted is we wanted an alternate solution to moving the soil and burying under soil.
Of course, yeah.
It's a lot of stress and compaction, and you want a living, healthy, breathing soil. So this was a good alternative for us. And so this is going to be our 5th year going into it. And we're really pleased with the results thus far. So now we have about 4 acres under blankets, and continually every year we're adding some more along as we go. Now, it's important to note that the blankets are white, and the reason the blankets are white is because it allows sunlight to come in. With the soil, it's dark,
of course,
and so there's no sunlight. So if the vines start growing underneath the blankets or underneath the soil, you want to be able to have green tissue, and to get the green tissue, you need sunlight for chlorophyll. And so we found some years when it's a late start and the vines start growing, you have actually white tissue. Like white asparagus is the best way I can explain it.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And when you open it up, they can get burned by the sun, and then you lose your little brand new shoots. So that's one major benefit as well with these, is the vines can actually start growing a little sooner, and it doesn't affect them negatively.
How low do you go up here, or how low since you've been here have you seen the temperature go down to?
So 2014 into 2015, it was minus 32 was the coldest.
Hell. Right.
And then last year we had minus 28 4 times.
Okay.
So the critical temperature for vinifera vines is minus 23.
So before you had these blankets, were you seeing some winter kill up here?
A little bit. It's more not the winter kill. It's more the damage you're doing when you're removing the soil.
Right.
Because you're using machines. And you can hit the vines or damage the buds or break the little tiny shoots off when they're growing. So that was more the damage we were seeing than actual winter, because they were protected from the cold from the soil.
Now, did it take some time for your team to get used to applying and removing these?
Yep, and we're still every day trying to make it better and better. We're working on mechanization for it, because the first couple years we only had a few rows and then up to an acre, and so we were just doing it by hand, just rolling them out by hand and laying them over by hand. One other change is we went from a single piece of cloth to 2 pieces that we now fold over in the center.
Okay.
So that makes it lighter and easier to move around as well.
How many years do these things last for?
Well, the jury's out on that. They say minimum 5 years,
Okay.
up to 8 years. And there's a lot of things, like if they get ripped or if mice start chewing them and things like that, that can affect their lifespan.
Right.
But so far I'm still using my original blankets.
Oh, fantastic. Excellent. And how many other wineries have adopted this this interesting way of saving the vines from the cold?
There's more and more every year.
Right.
This first started in Quebec, actually.
Okay.
They are the innovators of this, and they're the first ones to use it. But throughout Ontario, every year I have more people coming to visit me, and I'm speaking with more people that are actually using them as well. So Prince Edward County, there's quite a few wineries out there that are adopting this method rather than burying with soil.
Now, we're speaking right now in the middle of December, and when did you get the last of these onto your vines?
Well, actually, 2 days ago, but that's because we had ice wine.
Okay.
So our ice wine rows were the last rows to go on. But before that, we had it all finished by the 3rd week of November for everything else that wasn't hanging for ice wine.
So you must be feeling quite satisfied having them all covered up for the winter now.
They're put to bed. One other thing I should probably mention is that before we put these blankets on is we have to prune our vines and tie them down. So right after harvest, you're waiting for your vines to go dormant, you're waiting for your leaves to fall off, and then you're doing your pruning and tying at that point instead of in the wintertime and springtime. So it's a full on in the fall, but it gives you an extra break going into the spring because you have that job already completed.
Is there more than one company manufacturing these blankets right now?
Yes, actually I have 2 different style blankets. So the single one-piece blanket, is Dubois Agriculture, and they're based out of Quebec. These two-piece fold-over blankets that we have is from Randall Manufacturing, which is actually out just outside of London, Ontario.
Excellent. Are there any other applications apart from vineyards with this kind of project?
Funny you should ask. I was speaking with a gentleman up in Creemore, and he's using them for some of his field crops as well.
Interesting.
Get an earlier start in the season, and also just protecting from any extra winter damage if you don't get that snow base for insulation.
And cost-wise, what kind of cost are we talking about for this kind of
So for the
application?
fabrics, it's around $3,500 an acre.
Right. Okay. So a sizable investment, obviously.
Yeah, but it's better to have fruit than not. So.
Exactly. Shauna, thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Bye for now.